I want to welcome y'all to the class today, and all those who are going to eventually hear this teaching on the internet. And my name is Brother KC, and this is Brother Stacy. And this is the beginning of a series that we will be doing on the foundational stones. In Hebrews chapter 5, verse 11, we're going to go there. And the name of this teaching is Discerning of Good and Evil. See, because there is a lot of evil wrapped up in good, and the church deals with it. And the Lord doesn't deal with something that's wrapped up in good, because once it has become mixed, it becomes corrupted. So the Lord has no corruptness in our God. He is perfect in all his ways. In verse 5, Hebrews chapter 5, verse 11, go ahead and read. Talking to the Hebrews, the priests.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 11.
Go ahead.
Of whom we have many things to say, and hard to be uttered, seeing ye are dull of hearing. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Elohim, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat.
Go ahead.
For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
Well, see, that milk and the word of righteousness is the law, the prophets. But the milk is given for babes, but strong meat belongs to them. In verse 14, go ahead.
Verse 14. But strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
Yes, sir. So you got to have your senses, your mind trained to discern both the good and the evil. Because I want to separate them out. Because even though the evil looks good and is mixed with some good, it is still evil before God's eyes. Because we're going to go back and see in the garden, turn to Genesis chapter 1, because when he made everything, he saw it, he said it was very good. No evil mixed in there. It wasn't just good, it was very good because it came out of the mouth of the Most High.
Yeah.
Verse 26, when you get there, of Genesis 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, beginning at verse 26.
Go ahead.
And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So
they said, let's make man in our image and after our likeness. And so he created man in his own image. Him, male and female, he created him. Them. See, he's going back to after he had took Eve out of the apple. But look at verse 28 and read.
Verse 28. Hang on, brother.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, that's for the first 20, the 20 verse for the first chapter, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28. And Elohim blessed them. And Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And Elohim said, behold, I give you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
Yeah, see what we don't understand. In every every administration, when I say administration, I'm saying pre-Noah days and after Noah days, but even in the New Covenant days, he's always told man what he could eat. See, man wasn't allowed to just eat anything at any time.
That's right.
That's why he said, give you the herb to eat this time. Man couldn't eat no meat in the garden.
Yes.
Because there was no death in the garden. See?
Amen.
It wasn't nothing going to die there. There was no death in the garden until that good and evil came in there and corrupted it. And then death entered in by sin. Go ahead in verse 31 and read.
Verse 31. And Elohim saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good.
It was what?
Very good.
Not just good, but what? Very good.
Very good.
See, because there's nothing good there that the man asked Jesus, good master, he said, there's nothing good but what? My Father which is in heaven. So everything that comes out of his mouth is very good. And people always try to change the word and corrupt the word and interpret the word. That is Satan's spirit of activity to get you to accept or have truth and call it truth. But once it's corrupted, it is not of the Most High. Chapter 2, verse 7.
The book of Genesis.
Now, the evening and the morning, we'll finish reading that.
The book of Genesis.
2:31, it says, I'll read it. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. That's in verse 27 of chapter 31 of chapter 1, verse 31. So, we're still into the sixth day. Go down to verse. Because when he made man in his likeness, what day was it? It was the sixth day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, go down to verse 7 and read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord, Elohim, formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
This is the sixth day, people. Because the seventh day never came.
That's right.
Because man was supposed to rest on the seventh day. But when sin came in, and death by it, the seventh day of rest didn't come. It was put ahead of us. Then he gave man 6,000 years of labor, and the seventh day is coming right ahead of us. That's why, when you go back to chapter 2, verse 3, go ahead and read that verse from it.
Verse 3 of chapter 2 of Genesis. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made.
Now something, after every other day, it said, and the evening and the morning was the first day. Evening and the morning the second day. Evening and the morning the third day. Evening and the morning the sixth day. But when the seventh day came, it never had a conclusion. Because now we're still in the sixth day of man. Now from that point on, the Lord gave you 6 days to labor, and the seventh day you went for the rest.
Yeah.
And one day for the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. That's a prophetic statement to people. That's because man's time on earth from the time of Adam was going to be 6,000 years, and that seventh day is the day the Lord's going to come back. That's the Lord's day. But anyway, we're not going all there right now, because that's been corrupted also. But go down to keep on reading verse 8 and 9.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 8. And the Lord, Elohim, planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord, Elohim, to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Now he gave you every plant to eat, every tree that was good, pleasant to the sight for food. But here's two other trees that's in the garden. One's the tree of life. This is where the God, the Creator, walked among the garden, in the midst of the garden.
Yes.
And the tree of good and evil, that's Satan in the midst of the garden. Now, you don't eat of what he talks about, because just like in John 6:63, he said, in John 6, he said, the bread, I'm the bread that came down from heaven. Any man eat this bread, he shall have eternal life. See, so this is just a figure, a tree of life. It's a figure, but it's the tree that contains eternal existing life. It's a life-giving tree. But the tree of good and evil is the corrupt tree. So, verse 16 and 17. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the Lord Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely.
No, I didn't say eat freely. He said thou mayest what? Freely eat. Because you can't change it, you can't turn it around. Just read what's written. Go ahead.
But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die.
Right. See, Adam wanted to live, I think, 963 years. He didn't die that very day, but in that day that he ate, he did die, because that day was 1,000 years. But man can't go past 1,000 years. Since Adam sinned, that seventh day never closed out, because these 6 days before was all 1,000 years. In the creation, in the beginning of the creation. He got 12 days of it. And then he gave man another 6,000 years to get it together. And the seventh day was put up ahead of it. But that's a teaching for another time. So, he said, thou shalt, what? Surely die. Now, go down to verse 18.
Verse 18. And the Lord Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet.
Because God is always, he didn't say, he said it's not, see, he's always looking to give man the best. So he said it's not good for a man, because God knows how to give good. Now he can turn corrupt. And we're going to see how this good is going to turn corrupt. Because when he gave Adam Eve, it was a good thing before God. Go ahead and read.
Verse 19. And out of the ground the Lord Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them.
Now we got to remember, this is the 6th day. And remember, after the 6th day, he saw everything that was very good.
Yes.
So all the animals, everything, he let Adam name them. He named the lion, he named the tiger, he named the same name they got today. But go down to verse 19 and read.
Verse 19.
No, we read verse 19, right?
Well, not all of it.
But we don't need to. He named every living creature. But verse 21. Now verse 20 to 21.
Verse 2. Verse 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helpmeet for him. And the Lord Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Go ahead.
In the rib which the Lord Elohim had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man.
So who brought the woman unto the man?
Elohim.
Elohim, the creator. Adam didn't know. Adam didn't know he needed a helpmate. It's the Lord who saw he needed a helpmate, didn't he? Because the Lord sees your need and he's going to give it to you if you stay under what he commands you to do. You ain't got to make a lot of requests unto the Lord. We don't even know what we need because we don't know the difference between good and evil people. So he made the woman, and in verse 25.
Verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
And they were not ashamed. Go to chapter 3, verse 1 and read on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, beginning at verse 1.
They got two trees in the garden. Here comes that other tree of good and evil. Go ahead.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Elohim had made.
See, because even Satan was a created being. But this word serpent is the word Nakish in the Hebrew. It's the shining one. Because he appeared to Eve as a glorious angel of light. And he was full of wisdom because he had been with the Most High. And he was subtly coming to her. It didn't come over right away. He came over a period of deception because she started talking with him and listening to him. Go ahead.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Elohim said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden.
See, Satan's first utterance that's written in the scriptures is to get Eve to doubt God, because that's his favorite fruit. That's what he wants to work on man, is to doubt what God has really said. See, that's the question. I always get you the question, the integrity and accuracy of God's word. Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? The woman should have said, Satan, get thee behind me, for it is written, or it is said, that man shall not eat of the tree of good and evil. But that is what she did. She started holding a conversation with him. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Because once you start questioning the word, and then you start having a conversation with yourself or with somebody else, you get to doubt what God has said, you're on the road down. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Wait a minute, he didn't put a perhaps in there. Go ahead.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it.
Now she added to it, and then she said, lest ye die. He said, thou shalt surely die. She changed it, she made it a perhaps, what was an absolute. The God absolutely said, that day thou shalt surely die.